Last week I spoke about the fact that when Mashiach will come, everyone will be rich, yeah? So there was another one Nakuda that I missed that I want to speak about, which is really discussion in of itself, which is the Shita of Shmuel. And Shita of Shmuel is regarding whether there'll be poor people when Mashiach will come. And in essence, it's very fundamental to the whole Shita of the essence of the days of Mashiach, what they're all about.
How much you have to be rich?
You won't have to have anything. It says there's a Sifri on Parshas Hazinu on the Pasuk Hashem Bodat Yamchen Ovein Mekel Nechar. When Mashiach will come, David will take care of Yidden himself. So it says that you won't have to be involved in any business whatsoever.
I think Gemara in Shabbos or in Brachas asks, what's the meaning of rich? Gemara asks, what's his ashir?
Today or Moshiach times?
It says in Pirkei Yavim, it says,
no, I'm not saying ashir. Okay. In other words, it says, what is ashir?
In Halacha,
what is over there says that he's happy with, he's certain with his says in the Brachas or in Shabbos, he wants to say something about it.
So the Sifri says that Hashem Bodat Yamchen Ovein Mekel Nechar literally means David will lead Yidden himself. There won't be any other gods with him. That means Yidden won't have to be involved in anything else. It says that you won't, person will walk outside. It says the wheat will grow as tall as cedar trees, and the wheat kernels, David will bring a wind, they'll rub against each other, and the flour will fall down, and you just go, you pick up your handful. Not a mashal, dvarim kipshutam. The Rambam explains, look, maybe we'll speak about the mashal. Why do you have to say it's a mashal? And they say later on, it's not a Navi, this is a Sifri. If you want, anyway, so the truth is that I mentioned last week many different nevuas which are explain how Yidden will be rich. A very fundamental nevuah, which is maybe not so famous, but as we'll soon see, it's fundamental to this sugya, is the nevuah, is in Zechariah, and Trei Yasser is Zechariah was one of the last, Chag Zechariah Malachi, one of the last three Nevi'im. So in Zechariah Perek Yudalet, he speaks there about the war of Gog and Magog, and at the end he speaks about how there will be so much loot that Yidden will have from Gog and Magog. So it says there, V'lo yeh oid Knani b'veis Hashem. There won't be any more a Knani in the house of Hashem. So there's the Gemara in Psachim and Daf Nun, Amud Aleph, the Gemara says, V'om is lo yeh oid Knani. So there's different discussions, but Knani means a merchant, you won't have to do business. But it says, but it says, Ein kan oni. Knani means, Ein kan, lo yoid Knani, Ein kan oni. There's no poor person here. So, the Gemara says, as the Gemara Masechta Shabbos, the Gemara says that the whole discussion is discussed in different psukim and Koheles. It says, you should remember the Eibishter until the Giyu Shanim Asher Tomer Einli Bahem Chayfes. Will come years that you'll say you have no desire. So the Gemara says, Eilu Yimei HaMashiach Shem Bam Lo Yischus V'Lo Yichayv. But these are the days of Mashiach, that when Mashiach comes, there's no schus, you can't acquire merits, and you can't acquire sin, and you can't sin. Opliga de Shmuel, and this statement is in disagreement with Shmuel. Damar Shmuel said, Ein ben Elam Hazel l'Moisa Mashiach al Shibud Malchus Bilvad. The only difference between this world and the days of Mashiach is Shibud Malchus, that Yidden won't be subject to other kingdoms. The truth is in Shibud Malchus Bilvad, Stam, don't get our discussion here. But the Pashas Yulim Shibud Malchus means that Yidden won't be enslaved to other goyim, but it's other places. I've seen Sfarim that they explain. The word is not Shibud Malchus means that Yidden will rule on all the other nations. Not just it means Yidden will have independence. True word that Ein ben Elam Hazel Shibud Malchus Bilvad. They touch. I mean, as is mashra from the Nevuos. But in the Rambam, he definitely emphasizes how Mashiach will rule over the whole world. That Shibud Malchus means not just that we won't be ruled by the nations, but we will rule over the nations.
Mashiach.
Mashiach will rule over the nations, correct. Shnamar, and he says, so, but there won't be any change in nature. Shnamar, like it says, Kilo yechtel avim mikerav haaretz. That there's a pasuk in Parshas Re'eh, where the pasuk speaks about the importance of giving tzedakah, and the pasuk finishes off that Kilo yechtel avim mikerav haaretz. If you don't mind also.
No, that's daily no.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. In the laning from
Tzaref le'maisa. Tzaref le'maisa.
So it says, yeah. So Kilo yechtel avim mikerav haaretz. There won't be, Hashem won't. There will always be poor in the land. Okay, and from commanding to tell you, you should open up your hand to your brother, to your porn. Now, the what is the meaning of this Gemara here? So the meaning of this Gemara is a matter of two major ways of learning the Gemara. There's the way how Rashi learns the Gemara, and there's the way that Ramban learns the Gemara. Rashi learns the Gemara that when we say that when Mashiach comes, there's no schus and there's no chayva, there's no merits and there's no sins, we're talking particularly regarding one type of merit and one type of sin. The mitzvah of tzedakah. There's no merit. Rashi says, there's nothing to merit. Well, there's a mitzvah of tzedakah because everyone is rich. There's no chayva, there's no room for sin. The Torah says, you shouldn't
hold your hand tight.
You shouldn't make your heart tight or hold your hand back. So there won't be room to not to give tzedakah when Mashiach comes, because there won't be any need for tzedakah in the first place. So the l'ch'oida Ibn Ufik, so to say on the surface, what reason why Rashi learns the Gemara this way is because the Gemara in the continuation speaks about the whole, and the Gemara continues on the whole ma'isa about poverty. So it seems so. That's one push the things.
So
why
when Torah says "Layechda levi mikerav haaretz" goes also lefi Shmuel after Moshiach comes.
Yeah.
Not everything in Torah lechora it's like that. Schar v'oinish in Parshas Bechukei Yisrael dorten v'oyem tishmu and leis tishmu. That's also Moshiach comes. It's actual v'mizok.
Of course, it's actual when Moshiach comes.
Andere Sache. Das ist a Achiv Mitzvah.
We'll get to that in a second. So now there's a whole other discussion here. There's the way that Ramban learns Pshat. Ramban says, this is a whole separate discussion which is not for tonight, that when Mashiach will come, there won't be any sin or merits b'chal. There won't be any Yetzer Hara. So whether Pshat is there won't be free choice, or if there'll be free choice but you won't have any desire to sin, so there won't be any, the whole idea of acquiring merits or the reverse is if there's room, we have free choices, but when Mashiach comes, there's no Yetzer Hara, so there's no schus, there's no chayva. What exactly this means, again, it's a matter, does it mean when Mashiach comes, there won't be any aliyahs? So the way the Maram Leprak also goes more or less with the sheet of the Rambam, but he explains it doesn't mean that there won't be any room for improvement. You know what they say, the biggest room in the world is? The room for improvement. Doesn't mean that there won't be any room for aliyahs, but it means that the aliyahs will be like malach. The Chassidus explains different. He doesn't use that terminology. I'm just borrowing the mashal from Chassidus, that the difference between malachim and neshamas that are down here in Elam Hazah. Down here now, you're able to reach. You're able to in 1 second you could turn from a Rosh Gomer to the Tzaddik Gomer, the complete Rosh to complete Tzaddik. In Gan Eden, it's from level to level. You can't jump the gun, as they say. So he says, now, before Mashiach comes, you could completely transfer. When Mashiach comes, there's going to be aliyahs, but you won't be able to, you go from level to level, but it won't be, such a great, whatever. But I don't want to get into this conversation, because, whatever, it raises questions, which is a separate thing. So, according to the Ramban's whole thing, the Raya of Shita Shmuel, that there won't be change. In other words, what Shmuel is saying is more taken in the general context. So, when Mashiach will come, there will still be poor people, which means that the way life is as we know it today, where there's negative things in the world, and therefore there's also room for a Yetzer Hara, and some small level will still exist. So, therefore, there's still room for mitzvahs and avedas and avodah and things like that. That's the way that Ramban would learn the Gemara. But the way Rashi learns the Gemara is very simple. Rashi is not at all making a statement, doesn't learn that the Gemara is making a statement that when Mashiach will come, there won't be any room to do it, that there won't be any mitzvahs, any avedis. But one thing, the mitzvah of tzedakah won't apply. And this is in contrast with Shmuel, which says when Mashiach will come, there will be poor people. This Gemara is quoted in a few places. It's not there's the Rashi. It's not over here, but earlier on in Masechta Shabbos, it says there's a whole discussion also, which is a separate discussion about warfare, about Klei Zayin, about
weapons.
When Mashiach comes, which affects the laws of Shabbos today. If somebody will walk outside with a weapon on Shabbos, he's considered carrying or not. Obviously, we're not talking about it in the case of Pikuach Nefesh. But so the Gemara also quotes the Shita of Shmuel here, and actually, I believe it's over here in the Ketukei Seifrim, where he brings old manuscripts. The Sefer called the Ketukei Seifrim came out years ago. That he had different manuscripts. Was comparing the version of the Gemara that we have here, different manuscripts over there. He says, I think it's over here, or maybe it's in this over here, in Kufan Alpha Beis, where there's one manuscript that he adds in the Lashon of Shmuel, or Lashon Gemara, Ha'aniyim Havu. He clearly specifies that there will be poor people. So Rashi says over here, Rashi says, what's the Raya of Shmuel? It says, there won't be any poor people, that poor people won't cease from the face of the earth. Mashma lo'olam. It's mashma that there will always be, the simple reading of the pasuk is that there will always be poor people. So it's mashma forever. Huh? There'll never come a time there won't be any poor people. So, Memela, what the national emphasizes more. Rashi says, Shema minon nechamish nisnabu hanavim. He says, so it comes out from here that those nechamis, the comforts, the comforting words that the Nevi'im tell us that there won't be any more poor people. They're not talking about the days of Mashiach. She'af min ha'olam hazeh, she'hein min ha'olam hazeh, which they are from this world. Because if so, it will come out that there won't be any poor people when Mashiach comes. There will be poor people.
In that case,
yeah, there will be poor. There won't be poor people. So Now, so it comes out. We all heard probably at one point or another the Shita of Shmuel. That Shmuel says that when Mashiach comes, the world will run according to nature. And the Rambam Paschal like Shmuel. The whole Raya of Shmuel is really based on this Nekuda. If there'll be poor people or not. If you're going to say that there will always be poor people, so then that is where Shmuel gets it from, that all the prophecies that the Nevi'im speak about Mashiach will come don't apply to Yemei Mashiach. All the supernatural things, because the Torah clearly says that poor men will never cease.
So for when they do,
So now here comes the point. The question here comes, according to Shmuel, Shmuel doesn't disagree with the meaning of the pasuk. He doesn't say that the Nevi'im said in Nevuah, it's an emerson Nevuah, it's a true prophecy. So what does it mean when the Nevi'im said there won't be any poor people? So the Mashal Taichazoi said that means Shmuel holds it's going to happen. What in the Gemara's term is lo'olam haba, which means basically after Tchiyas HaMesim. So another
4 years, whatever
it is, it's Nishnegeya. Shmuel definitely doesn't give the time when Tchiyas HaMesim.
The Rambam writes.
Doesn't say in
When is
Tchiyas HaMesim going to be?
Yeah, that's a separate thing. You're right.
The other side to give später oder du bist sag gerches dann Chodemach, weißt was ein paar Minuten. Sekunde
I
später.
don't know what's the source, but yeah, okay, no.
Fine. So
he divides it into two kufas.
So one second, man darf das verstehen. Es ist nicht der poste thing.
The Rambam's shit is not. Rambam says it's more when the time it will be in the Shamas B'tam Kufim. That's the Lashon, more much than the Rambam. And Habba. The Rambam Lashon, the Rambam is a bishos and it's doing gvias. That's Lashon.
Sorry to say, Tachlis Hayidiyah Shalei Nedoachu. To say that we can understand today exactly what's going to be then.
Okay, so
which fight?
So the word is like this. It comes out like this. Everyone, it comes out, but pashtus. It's very. You're going to have to say l'chayra, and it's very clear that according to Shmuel, there will come a time that there won't be any poor people. Right? Shmuel is not disagreeing with the Nevuah. So what is Shmuel saying? The pasuk says, "Lo yechta lavi mikerav haaretz," that will never.
Why is it so complicated? Why is it different with the Rambam writes?
Huh?
Why is it much different with the Rambam writes?
Who says it's much different with the Rambam?
The Rambam writes it doesn't mean good kipshutim, and you don't know what's gonna. The Rambam says it's not kipshutim. You don't know what's gonna happen. Like the Rambam writes clearly that he bases himself on Shmuel's.
So fine. So the answer to the fine. So certain things you could, certain nevuos you could. In other words, there's two general approaches you could take. What Shmuel is going to do with the psukim from the Nevi'im. One approach you could take is, like I mentioned, that they're going to happen later.
Yeah.
Another approach you could take is that they're not to be taken literally. Okay. Now, the problem with that approach is that, which is what the Rebbe is emphasizing in the famous Sikha in Shtei Kufas and Kutas Sichas Chelach of Zayin Pashas B'chol Koisai, that there's certain psukim that you have to take literally. V'loyoid Knani B'veis Hashem. There's other ways, other Mefarshim give different ways of learning it. You don't have to learn the words V'loyoid Knani that ain't Kanani. There's no poor person there. So Shmuel could find easy way out of that pasuk. But there's other Nechams, other take Tchias HaMesim. Tchias HaMesim, the Rebbe learns, is Shinim Minogi Shalom. It's No, I'm saying. So Shmuel has to agree to Tchias HaMesim, right? And furthermore, there's a Gemara Masechta Pesach, and the Gemara asks different things. One pasuk says this, one pasuk says that. The Gemara says differences in Times of Moshiach, Leilam Haba, and says according to Shmuel that says Those are the Gemara clear. The Gemara itself says that both psukim speak about Leilam Haba. Now, if you want to go with the shit of the Rambam, the Leilam Haba means the Gan Eden, and explain the Gemara that way, you could, but it gets very complicated. From the Pashtus HaSugya, the way the Rebbe's word of Shtei Kufas, the Rebbe was Mechadash more in the Rambam. In Shitas Shmuel, many people say it. I mean, the Rebbe himself brings a Shalom, others that say it. So in other words, it's not mistaber to say that according to Shmuel, the world is going to run the way it is now, and there won't be any change in nature. So but Pashtus, once there's a change in nature, there won't be poor people also. So the way I understand the word is like this. And this is Meduik in the Lashon of Rashi over here. Rashi says that Shmuel says as long as the world runs, there's going to be poor people. And he uses the Lashon that Times of Moshiach is also Mino Elam Hazahim. Rashi uses the Lashon here. And Rashi himself in another place also learns that Shmuel's going to hold those psukim and happen Leilam Haba. It's not sure which place it is, but
Moshiach is Leilam Haba.
Yeah, was meint das haste. In other words, what I'm saying right now is I'm discussing it. I don't have clear proof, but I think it's forced to say this way. There's maybe one other word I could say. I'll say it in a minute. Shmuel, the pasuk lo yechta levin, right? The Gemara itself, and I'll be mocked him with another shal. I'll preface another question. There's a famous Sifri, which Rashi brings down al HaTorah. Right before this pasuk about lo yechta levin, there's a pasuk that speaks about Shemitah, whatever, and it says that by Shemitah comes, you shouldn't collect your debts. Efes ki lo yeh b'cha evyin. It says, ki yivarech v'rechecha Hashem, v'barach Hashem k'ritzecha nachal rishta, rakim shema. If you listen to the Eibush, there won't be any poor people amongst you. So the Sifri says, what's going on over here? Here it says, if you listen to Hashem, there won't be poor people. A few psukim down the road, it says, lo yech b'levin, they'll never cease to be poor. So the Sifri says, if you serve the Eibush, the poor people will be amongst the goyim, not amongst you. If you don't serve the Eibush, there'll be poor people amongst you. So the way the Sifri learns, in the Welt, in the world at large, there's going to have to be at some point someone poor. But it doesn't necessarily have to be amongst the Jewish people. Is there a Chumash with Rashi?
Yeah,
Which Chumash? Ray?
The bottom.
Rashi bringt gegen dezelfde scheile.
just wondering what Rashi says.
Was haben es nicht mehr? Nehmen wir Shetera. Where did he go? Going to different Schafe. Bring dort nach Shetera. Rashi fragt doch dieselbe Scheile, doch zu mehr?
Rashi fragt dieselbe Scheile.
I think so, no?
Ja, just 1 second.
Das ist mit derselbe Tshuva. Das ist man Scheiß, aber jetzt ist es mal
She bringt es.
Ha?
She bringt es.
Ja.
Yeah, Rashi says the same thing. Fine. So, some people ask a Shaila on Shmuel. It's a question that already the Ritva asks on Shmuel. What is he proving from the pasuk L'yachta Levyain? L'chayda, it says Efes Kilei B'Chavyain. At least when you get the Yidden, you could. It says there won't be any poor people. So it just says, I don't understand how it answers the question. But the Ritva says that he quotes other songs, says people ask and they answered. He says that there won't be someone that's very poor, but aniyim there'll still be. So he explains there's 2 levels of poverty. You have in halachos, you have an evyon, you have someone that's completely poor.
Only the evyon.
Yeah, ani you have, let's say in the famous thing when it comes to the laws of stock, it says that if someone has 199 zuz, you're allowed to give him stock. If there's a certain amount that he doesn't, if he has money but he doesn't have a certain amount. Yeah, so in other words, he says. So that's what he answers. He says that Shmuel will say that even when you do the Tzeinei Shel Mokim, it doesn't mean that you won't have an Evyon, but you'll still have Ani. The Shaila I just have is why is he quoting the pasuk Lo Yachta Levyan? Whatever. We can say but the way I understand it is like this. Shmuel's raya from the pasuk Lo Yachta Levyan, the way I understand it, could be understood not so much based on the pasuk Lo Yachta Levyan. It's based on the understanding what Yemais HaMashiach is. Shmuel says Yemais HaMashiach by definition is part of Olam Hazeh. Yemais HaMashiach, the Maral is madish. Even according to Shmuel, Yemais HaMashiach is not going to be exactly the way things are now. But Yemais HaMashiach, to a certain extent, is not considered a totally new world. It's considered a continuation of this world. So therefore, Shmuel says, since Yemais HaMashiach is part of Olam Hazeh, and regarding the Olam Hazeh, it says, Kilo Yachta Levin, the says mitzad, even though the other pasuk says that if you do the Eibish's will, there won't be poor people, but mitzad, the nature of the world, you can't say that it's impossible that you be poor. It could be a special bracha of the Eibishter that there won't be anyone poor. But mitzad, the nature of the world, there could be someone poor. So Shmuel says, since he learns Yemais HaMashiach is part of this world, the Zokter, you can't say there's going to be such massive change. Because the pasuk itself defines that in the nature of this world there has to be a evyon. So Mamela, even Yemais HaMashiach, you want to say that there'll be a much greater bracha and chveis, but at least you can't say it'll be totally shaloi be'erech, that it won't be shaykh at all the mitzias of someone that's poor. So those chachamim that say that disagree with Shmuel and say that even when Mashiach comes there won't be any poor people, the shaila is what they hold. Because the shaila is if they hold that Yemais HaMashiach is taka, a whole different thing, as is much from the way some people learned, or they hold that they have a different way of understanding Yemais HaMashiach. But in other words, the raya of Shmuel, the way I understand it, goes together. It's not proof from the words Kilo Yachta Levyan, because according to Shmuel, there's going to have to come a time when there won't be any of Yenim. But Shmuel says when Olam Haba comes, let's say some Mepharshim say it's the 7th millennium, or after the Chisamesim, Shmuel will hold, he says that's a different world. The Torah is talking about the world of window, when there's going to be another world, a whole different order of nature, higher than nature, whatever it might be. That's not what the Torah is talking about. So Shmuel doesn't hold it's a contradiction to say that there will come another period and there'll be Shemayim Chadashim, Eretz Chadash, a whole different period where there won't be a whole different way of life where there won't be shaykh poor people.
Over there, there won't be no.
There won't be any Yavim. But Shmuel says, since we understand Yemais HaMashiach, it's not going to be a totally new world. It's going to be a continuation of this world. So if in this world we say Lo Yachta Levyan, that there has to be poor people, it's not shaykh when Mashiach comes. There should be such a radical change. As I verstehe, that's my humble
Who wants to volunteer to be a Evian? BMS, we all could be rich. But who wants to volunteer to be a Evian? The Eden should be able to make the mitzvah. So it won't be no, today you got 5%, it's going to be 10%. Who wants to volunteer? Okay.
So the way, so in other words, the shit of Shmuel is not pshat the loyach levi means that they're always forever and ever at safe kol adayis till the end of all time. There's always going to have to be poor people. It means as long as the world is part of the way the world is now, there can't be such a thing that there won't be poor people. And Yemaisa Mashiach is still part of that. That's what I think Rashi is trying to say. Now, another word, which is what you said, which could tie into the Rebbe's whole sheet about Yemaisa Mashiach and Shmuel, is that Shmuel said like this. Again, this is a little bit maybe al derech hadrush, but I think it fits in Indian. Shmuel says, what's Yemaisa Mashiach? Yemaisa Mashiach is shleimus ha'Torah v'mitzvos. Yemaisa Mashiach is a time when you complete Torah mitzvahs. Mitzvah stuck is one of the fundamental mitzvahs. So Shmuel says, you're going to say to Mashiach, come ein v'yischus v'lo chayva. Shmuel says, Torah mitzvahs, the way mitzvahs are set up in the world, the completion of Torah mitzvahs, one of the fundamental mitzvahs is stuck. So if Mashiach comes, is a time when you fulfill the mitzvahs in the highest way. So the world, it was created in a way that you should be able to fulfill the mitzvahs. If you can't fulfill the mitzvah stuck, it's already not Yemaisa Mashiach. It's a totally different stage. So Shmuel says, the Torah says, L'yachtel avyin as part of, again, it's not Posh the Pshat, but I think it's, and that L'yachtel avyin is part of the mitzvah of tzedakah. So in other words, the way Torah, the mitzvah of tzedakah was established is that there should be poor people. So there has to be some level of poverty remaining. Olam Haba, the second period, and then we say mitzvahs petelis, which is a whole separate discussion. That's a time, it's not the time of the shleimus of Torah mitzvahs, at least the way we know it today. So the bottom line is what I wanted to say is that even everyone holds there's going to have to become a time that there won't be poor people. Now, even according to Shmuel, this is what I want to say. Even according to Shmuel, which holds that there has to be poor people. So first of all, like the Ritva says, it doesn't have to mean someone that's very poor. It could be someone that's an ani to say he's missing. The Rambam uses a lot in the Pirush Mishnayos. The Rambam, when he discusses Yemaisa Mashiach, he says that then there'll be chef, there'll be, the small thing you do will be able to make a lot of it. And he uses the Deloshim, but they will still be strong and weak comparative to each other. And so early, the regular Pirushim says Aniyim v'Ashirim also, but later in other Rabbi Kapach in his translation took it out, which means that then everyone will have lefiyerich, but still compared to rich people in times of Mashiach, there will be people that will be poor. And the Maral says that Shmuel is talking about Yechidim, not talking about Klal Yisrael more or less. Taka have bracha. There'll still be individuals that might sin, that might be poor. And this is what we hear through in the word of the Zohar, which is I want to finish off. The Zohar says that the Zohar doesn't quote Shit of Shmuel, name of Shmuel. The Zohar says, makes it into an Amei Ha'aretz and Talmidei Chachamim. It says that Amei Ha'aretz, by them, Taka won't be a change of nature. But by Talmidei Chachamim, we'll have all the miracles. So it could be, the same vein of what I said earlier, it could be there'll be certain people that for them, Taka, by them will be Shaykh of Yoinim, but for most Yidden, by them it will be, Ashiras Muflaga. I think it is a line take if you have